Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk from Jacket Clubs Painting. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
What's up, man? How's it going?
You closed your eyes for my intro, Wyatt. What happened? Were you sleeping?
I wasn't tired. I'm sorry, that was a lie. I just didn't want to look at your dumb face.
It's stupid face. Stupid.
Yeah, I think dumb is a derogatory term at this point.
Yeah, for real. It's definitely stupid. I have a face for radio, I heard.
Agreed.
So, it's been a busy week. It's like Wednesday, and it's been busy.
Yeah.
Like, back in facts and new facts and
some fact checking.
I feel like we always say that.
No, this week, definitely. It's been a busy one.
So this time, for real. Got it.
You didn't go on any airplanes, so how busy could it have been?
That's true. I didn't this week.
Yeah, you didn't do any work. I mean, how did you fly to all these places and do investigative journalism? I don't know how the internet works, admittedly.
We see in the battlescape, the general is far too important to be captured, Kenny.
Are people trying to take you?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't understand the reference then.
I'm not really sure anymore. But
all right. Wyatt, do us a joke.
Do us a joke.
Do us a funny. All right. Would you rather not be able to use inflection or tone in your voice, or not be able to display facial emotions?
That's a good
Obviously,
one.
permanent for the rest of your life.
All day, every day.
So it would be like kind of the movie Liar Liar.
No, because in that movie he can't tell lies.
Yeah, but
so you can't be like you can only talk basically like a robot, or your face always looks like a robot.
Yes.
Can't be like you can't when you ask somebody a question, you can't inflect like it's a question. You can't even be like,
yes.
You can't be like, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Nope. Definitely can't even make that reference anymore. Pretty much.
Huh.
Okay, you can be
you can preface everything you say with intent.
You could say, I'm Ron Burgundy. Right? But you can do shit with your eyes, like, I'm Ron Burgundy. You can do all sorts of things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or the reverse. It's actually really hard. Now that I just thought about it, they both suck.
I mean, like, how many friends are you trying to have?
Oh my God. You'd be text to speech real life. I feel like
Haspil hasn't moved in like 3 weeks. So
I mean, he's nailing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'd pick robot face. Like Botox face.
Okay.
I don't know. I would probably go with robot face too. I feel like I could pull it off.
Yeah, you already do that.
Yeah, I mean, your face can't get any.
I just made a face.
This one time. I mean, I'm not saying that you don't make faces. I'm just saying, like, most of the time you're impossible to read.
Is that bad? I don't think that's bad.
I mean, you have a lot of friends? You good?
I mean, I got 3 cats like within arm's distance.
Or do people constantly call you stupid face on the internet?
You mean like some of the 225,000 followers on Facebook, like maybe 10 of them have something bad to say every now and then? Oh no.
All right.
I feel like those are good numbers. I feel like my balance sheet is looking good. On the plus or minus.
I wish you guys could see the actual spreadsheet he keeps on these comments.
Oh, I screen cap them all.
To back the cavalierness of his statement he just made right now. Oh, no, it's not a big deal. He's got literally a Robbie B shit list.
No, it's nothing like that. It's just funny to collect them because one day I'm going to be like, Hey, check all these screenshots.
They're hilarious. Look, robot face aside, we can still do a podcast. We just can't show our faces.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know?
And you really would have a face for radio.
Yeah. And when I do my live stream, I would just put like a picture of me from the past pre-Genie, unless his magic retroactively adjusts previous pictures. Or I could Photoshop my face to have a smile and just put that there.
Oh,
that's asking for trouble.
Oh, is that like bending the parameters of the objectivity here?
Taking the joy of smiling out of your life. If you imagine how like off-putting you would be if like somebody told you a funny joke and you just laughed hysterically at it, but your face was like
robot
impassive. The entire people would think you're like a chomo sociopath,
legitimately insane. Yeah, got it. You're right. I'm just have to wear a Halloween mask. Is that worse?
You could wear those glasses that look like your eyes are open, but really you're like asleep all the time.
Oh my God, I love Rob's injections. That definitely. Absolutely. I love it.
Or you could get those craft eyes, those googly eyes, the ones that like go all over the place.
I don't know. I feel like that's even more like horrific.
It is.
You just saw a man with absolutely no facial emotion, but with like googly eyes on his face.
Yeah.
Like, talking fanatically, like totally manic.
Yeah, I would run.
No, like that dude, Mad Money on the whatever network where he's like, bye, Kramer. He's like, bye. And he'd have like googly eyes. It'd be the best ever. That's my fantasy.
Award-winning ideas like this is why we need Rob for president in 2020.
Yeah.
Feel like you're secretly making fun of me.
See you up on your platform with your googly eyes, your robot face, and your manic speech-giving skills.
Yeah.
Most terrifying sight I've ever seen.
It's like the what was the robot's name in BoJack Horseman?
Oh my God, Henry Fondle or
Henry Fondle. Henry Fondle for president.
Oh my God.
So good.
All right, Rob. Let's talk Titanicus. 90 seconds on the clock.
Tabletop Market Watch. Ha, fooled you. I'm going to talk about Creature Caster.
God, he keeps saving his time.
So Creature Caster's got a new model coming out. It's called the Lord of Sacrifice. It's going to be $59. It basically, I have it here somewhere. For those of you watching live, okay, never mind. I can't get to it, but I swear it's here. It's different. It's their new Lord of Tyranny or their new Tyranny line, and supposedly it's the last of their 6 demons lines. So I guess they're going to start on other things in the near future because they're like, it's the last of our demons, and I was like,
well, we've heard some whispers of what they're working on. Pretty exciting stuff.
That is true.
I think I'm technically under a verbal NDA about that stuff, so I won't mention anything more.
I understand. I have the same information. Yeah, they look good. Yeah, no, the new stuff's definitely good.
I'm out of the loop. No one's talked to me about it.
They definitely told you at Adepticon last year. We were at the same dinner table.
Oh, is that the one where
That was a long time ago. I only have about a 6-month memory.
Those bath salts, dude.
Wow.
I mean, it's in the air in South Florida, bro. Like it's.
I'm gonna hit the clock back over to my time so I can finish my turn.
You weren't even talking about Titanicus.
Yeah,
use your time.
So, also that should be out at some point today, tomorrow. Probably by the time you're hearing this, head up Creature Caster, check them out. I think they got a restock coming in on their pro acrylic line too.
You talk about Titanicus. I'm gonna Google that.
Get their fat bottom 22-ounce paints with their new twisty tops, dropper tops, and flippy tops. Not to be confused with flippy floppies.
Wait, they actually have multiple top types?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I only have the one.
Yes. Well,
I think you have to buy them separately.
Yep.
least like the last time I looked, you could buy the paints as is, and then like as a separate add to cart, there was like the different tops, but they're really cheap, so it's fine.
Not cheap in quality, cheap as in price.
Yeah, as in price. Like it's very inexpensive, is what I should say.
There you go. Also, apparently there's made-to-order Valhallans coming out at some point this week. They might just go up on pre-order and not get announced this weekend, but we posted the complete list.
Oh, you mean like that one time they did like the Christmas, brought it back, the Juan Diaz like Demonettes?
Yes, exactly like that.
Dope.
Oh, they actually have 3 types now, it looks like.
Twisty, Flippy, and...
well... So one is like a normal like cap that screws onto the nozzle.
Right.
And then there's what they sell it with, which is the twist to open.
Twisty.
Like it just twists open. And then now they have the like flip top
that's
type as well. And you get what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 for $3. That's pretty cheap.
But I think you have to have the bottles already. So like if you buy
paint not included.
Yeah, you buy the paint bundle of 10 paints, then you spend $3 to get the tops you want. If you don't want the regular ones.
Dope.
Yeah. Can't complain. So look for that here shortly on their site. Also the GW special order or MTO Valhallans at some point, I'm not exactly sure. Thunderfire Cannon, if you've been waiting on that one, it's back in stock at Games Workshop for $56 US. Woo! And we put up a post. I'll probably put one more out this weekend at some point. Bits bags are going back on sale, so sign up on the email list so you'll be one of the first to know because they might sell out pretty quick. I don't know how many we're gonna make. I like to make each one personally. It's like playing Hobby Santa. It's pretty fun, and by fun I mean exhausting, but I love it. And
that's how you started this whole thing.
It's true. Yeah. Many years.
I remember you like with your little mask on, with your little scoopers, scooping out, weighing bits. It was real life.
That might have been the movie New Jack City, starring not me. Absolutely. Other releases on the way for pre-order this weekend. The new White Dwarf's coming out, which, by the way, did you guys notice that there hasn't been rules in the White Dwarf since Psychic Awakening came out? Thank God. Because
I don't think I've read a White Dwarf in like 7 years.
Okay, that's fair. But could you imagine if there was not only rules coming out every month in Psychic Awakening, but also in a White Dwarf for 40K?
I can. I can't imagine that world.
That would be a lot to keep up with.
We definitely used to live in a world like that.
Yes, I do remember those times when a new box set would have. Silly, just silly. Regardless, if you're into Age of Sigmar, all the special edition characters, well, not special edition, I guess limited edition, that came in the starter boxes that were like the only way to get them for some of them a year, some of them over a year, are coming out this week. So you've got the Sylvaneth Arch Revenant finally, because she was going for like $70 for one figure there for a while on eBay. The Maw Tribe's Tyrant, Vokmorden for the Bone Reapers, Flesh Eater Courts, the Important Dude, and the Skaven Warlock Bombardier. Oh, and the Gloomspite Gits boss on Squigger is also coming out. I think they're all $30 to $35 depending. And Blackstone Fortress has got an expansion coming out with Poxwalkers and those 3 limited edition Death Guard models that came out at some point when I think right around the time Death Guard came out in 2017. There was like 3 dudes left that were their own set for like $45 or something.
That wasn't like the easy start like set.
Yeah, they're like a push fit.
Yeah. Okay.
There were 7 that came in the Dark Imperium box, and then there was like these 3.
These 3 that were like off the sprue on a separate location in the same box. Yeah.
But that was its own separate box for $45.
That's right.
So now they put them together with some content for the Blackstone Fortress. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I mean, if you're in the Blackstone Fortress,
Lord Filthiest Cohort, is that what it was?
No, that was Dirty Mike and the boys.
Those guys.
Yeah, those are different guys. These are actual
These are like the ones that were in the Dark Imperium starter box.
Very similar. I think one had the Spurter.
Yeah.
And that was like the only way to get it until they came out with the Death Guard multi-part kit, which I don't remember. I think that came out in October. So these guys came out in July or something in 2017. I don't know. It's hard to keep it all straight anymore. And then Necromunda is doing an interesting thing where they're basically rebooting their codexes or their faction books. So they're going back and redoing at least 4 factions. And the first one, House of Chains, which is Goliath, is coming out on pre-order for $47. Apparently the book's pretty thick. It's going to have a lot of good content in there and updating content. Then it's going to be followed by, I think, Escher, and I forget the other ones that are coming out, but they previewed it already, but not the models that are coming out. So they're also coming out with more models. Where have we ever seen content coming out with new models before for a game? That's crazy. But yeah, now it's splashing over to Necromunda and 2 Goliath releases as well for $42, and then the tactics cards for $15. So that was the big stuff coming out, going on pre-order this week. But there's still so much to still come out that we know about. There's more sisters. We know there's the Realm Lords, the Lumineth Realm Lords. I mean, there is so much stuff out there that we just have no idea where it's slotted in. New Gaz, so it's a very exciting time for the game. If we could just get the content right, the rule sets right, I think we would.
What's wrong with the rule set?
Just the constant updates, the constant
Why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing in the fact that they are not doing a good job proofing the content. 2 times in a row now, they've forgotten the main character's points costs that are in these supplement books. I
hate that shit. I hate it when the only thing holding them back a perfect release is a editing error. And they do that all the time. I mean, they did it with the Obliterators when they got their point hike, but then the 2.0 decks dropped and they had the old points in it.
Almost like if they just went digital and did everything in-house with their quality control instead of outsourcing it to a overseas publisher, we wouldn't have these issues.
Not only would you not have these issues, but you wouldn't have people port scrying and seeing the name of the next Psychic Awakening book, War of the Spider, that presumably will be out in April as well. But
wait, what?
So that's going to come out before Engine War?
No. Engine War. Well, we don't know when Engine War is coming out. Actually, I
just don't understand why they're announcing stuff and then having other books coming out before the things they announce. It just doesn't.
So we got Saga of the Beast in March. Engine War presumably in April. I misspoke.
Okay.
War of the Spider could be May, but they could bring it out in April. They could do 2 in 1 month. Who knows? Don't know. It's debatable. And what is even in War of the Spider is super debatable too, because it's spelled SPIDER.
So what were you saying earlier?
I mean, there's all sorts of tinfoil hat theories.
Give me your best one right now.
I got 3, and they're all relevant. So you got Necron spiders with a Y, but there's also Satan that's the spider as well. Then you've got Fabius is actually called the Spider as well. In his last book, they kind of started referring to him as that. So that was interesting. So we're going to see Emperor's Children, and Emperor's Children in the fluff have been chasing around an Eldar ship. An Eldar fleet, Emperor's Children fleet have been kind of playing cat and mouse. They have this.
Also, it could be a Dark Eldar Emperor's Children drop.
Could
Dark Eldar covered?
They're already out. The
Oh,
only thing
covered.
I think we're waiting on Harlequins. Harlequins are the only Eldar left.
Yeah, I can see that.
Warp Spiders. Oh yeah, Warp Spiders. We haven't seen
Craft World.
We already got a Craft World. Yeah. Necron's looking really strong, and I mean, technically, we did get Emperor's Children and the Legion rules, so I'm thinking Necron's is your strongest tinfoil hat right now.
Well, they're not spelt the same way though.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past GW to skip a faction that needs rules in favor of giving more rules to a more popular faction. Mm-hmm. So it is entirely possible that we could get more Craft World Eldar rules before somebody else.
What's not spelled the same, by the way, Rob? So Tomb spiders and Satan.
Tomb spiders are with a Y, but the Satan spider that was introduced is SPIDER.
And what is this book? What is this book with a Y?
It's a lady too, huh?
This book with an I or a Y?
This book's with an I. So, or it could be warp spiders because there's actually a story in The Greater Good where like Guard are fighting over they get trapped by warp spiders looking for like some sort of artifact armor, which last time we saw that was in the Doom of Mamera book where they introduced a whole new
oh my god, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, 2011. There was a new Phoenix Lord, there was a new aspect. And technically, War Spiders don't have the Phoenix Lord. We don't even know if one exists still to this day. So
I'm glad you clarified your tinfoil hat stuff. That is all ink. I'm trying to do my would you rather, by the way. Try to keep my face emotionless.
I can't
it's
see
almost impossible.
It's almost impossible, man.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
That is some hype shit, Rob.
It's just nerd stuff. What can I say?
What do you mean just nerd shit? This is the award-winning segment, Peabody award-winning Borderline, arguably. At least nominable segment.
I would say just cat approved. Definitely cat approved.
Yep. 2 paws
That's
up.
the only word I need. 2 paws up.
Fuck yeah. What about Titanicus? You're not going to talk about Titanicus.
He's hoarding them seconds.
Nah, I don't really need.
They got a new model.
Do they?
Yeah.
What is it?
You know, it's a Titan.
Which one?
You know, I'm going to go Warlord Titan.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Doesn't sound right.
Am I right?
Nah, it doesn't sound right.
Warhound Titan.
No. You can't just name everything with a war in it. Eventually you're going to run out
Weaver
of
Titan.
Oh.
That was a good guess, but it's still incorrect.
That's all the Titans I know.
And I'm done.
I'm out of Titans. That's it.
I don't know. What are you guys hoping for the most out of the Psychic Awakening? Like, what faction do you want
I'm
to see?
really hoping for a Titanicus update out of that book.
They're definitely not in Psychic Awakening.
Maybe Necrons. I think Necrons need some
Necrons.
love.
I'm hype on that.
Ooh, that would be cool to see. Yeah.
Warbringer.
That's cheating.
What? I can look at the chat.
The Side Titan actually sold out on GW site, but then it's back. I think it's back in stock already. Or the Side Titan. Yeah, the Warlord. I did not get one. I think I could just convert one.
Oh, flex your hobby muscles?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was like $150. And the Warlord's like 110. Or no, maybe it was 132. I don't know. Yeah, it was whatever. Yeah, I feel like I got three Warlords. Might as well just convert one.
Dude, you should just get a 3D printer already.
He does not disagree.
Yeah.
Get you a photon with all that money you're not spending on airline tickets to do your job.
But what about the prescription cat food I gotta buy?
And your
do you really have to buy a prescription cat food?
And cat. Yeah. He also has cat insurance.
I do have cat insurance.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a new one.
That's years. It's not new.
You
for
actually
him.
save a lot of money if you get cat insurance in Banfield. Like for real.
Oh, you mean like medical insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm a dum-dum. I was thinking like insurance policies in case your cats die.
No.
Like cat life insurance.
I
don't know why. I was like, the concept of like healthcare insurance for pets is like so foreign to me that I was like, does he have like an insurance policy in case one of his cats kills over? Just gets like a huge payout.
Yeah, my God. I love it.
Not quite.
So do you want to move on, or do you really not going to bring up Titanicus?
Well, they were pre-order last week, so all that stuff's coming out this week. But yeah, I mean,
well, we talked about it last time. Adepticon has a Titanicus team event.
Yeah.
Did you do any R&D on that? The numbers of that event?
I think no, I did not.
Okay, so it still stands that we believe 80 people are playing.
As many as 80, yes.
possibly 80 people playing, which would be the largest Titanicus gathering to date, if that occurs, which would be pretty amazing if that actually happens. All joking aside, we obviously tease Rob about his love of Titanicus. They're dope-ass models with incredibly intricate and detailed and immersive rule set. Lots of options to go hype.
And now it's even more affordable because it's only $150 for the starter.
Yeah, and we talked to the pregame show. The only thing that held him back was it's a slow start. You lose a lot of momentum when you drop the ball on. It's like we said at Kickstarter analogies. Like Kickstarters who don't get funded in the first 24 hours sometimes don't get funded. It's kind of a similar emotion here. Like it came out, price point was cost prohibitive. Lots of people bought it. Lots of people didn't. I bet a lot of the people who did bought it, who waited for the community to pick up, just left them in boxes because the community never picked up. If they come out with this price point on jump, there might be a 3 times, 4 times bigger community.
Well, not only that, but if you have the $290 the Grandmaster Edition, all the stuff that comes in a new starter didn't come in that except for the rule set. But the rule set is actually updated they had a little bit of errata and things. So you're actually getting an air quotes up to date rule book in it too. So in theory, you really wouldn't have to buy much more besides this because you already have the rest of the stuff, including terrain from the bigger box.
But momentum was lost.
Messed up with it. I mean, like, aside from the price, like, I've actually heard more people give the reason that, like, it's not about the money, it's about time. Like, they have time for one game.
Mm-hmm.
And if their game is already Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar or something like that, like, they don't have time for a whole other game system to get into, regardless of how, like, small or fast to play it is. Like, they just don't. Like,
well, especially when you have to spend half of your time looking for people to fucking play with and communities to interact with.
Well, I mean, it's like me in Blood Bowl. Like, if I wanted to play more Blood Bowl, I could. There's communities I could schedule games with people. We could start a league, but like, long and like the end of the day is like I just don't have enough time to invest into Blood Bowl without giving up other things that I'm not willing to give up.
100%. But it's almost like if you're not being hyper competitive in 40K and following every little development and every little rule and every little like forum post about what is more effective and what's better for the points cost, you have more time to just be like, Titans, let me just put them on the board and pew pew.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, but most people don't go backwards. That's the problem. Like, you work up to that, but you'd have to be like, okay, I'm super into the meta, I'm super into the scheming, I'm super into this in 40K. For someone to actually be like, I'm going to stop being that way, but still play 40K casually, that almost never happens.
Agreed.
So like, if you're not being competitive, I don't think there's any connection between being competitive and like time, at least for like other games. Like, yes, people who are more competitive spend more time, but it's like, if you're just the average Joe who gets to get out of the house one night a week and you're already invested in Warhammer, then like you're still talking about like painting, assembly, like all the other hobby hours aside from just playtime. Most people just don't have the playtime to do multiple games.
Yeah, most people are married with kids, and
I agree. Like the hours that you can get out, but if your play group starts to pick it up, then I think there's a lot of pockets out there.
That's the biggest hurdle. That's the biggest. It's like one guy can do it, but like trying to get a group of people who's like, yeah, we're the Warhammer 40k group. We meet on Thursday nights. Trying to get those people to convert one of those weekly nights to play Titanicus is like, that's impossible.
No, I agree. And that's why I have enough Titans for 2 people to play, because I'm going to find somebody that wants to play. I'm going to teach them. And I'm going to have somebody to play against instead of
Rob Baer is going to kidnap somebody and force them to play Titanicus in his basement.
Have you been taken? Describe what you see. Bunch of robots, like big ones? No, they look like they were big, but they're actually small. Strange scale. Cats. Oh, I know where you are. I got you, bro. Sending somebody in.
Does the man who took you have a stupid face? Oh, yeah, actually, now that you mention it. Oh, okay. We have his address on file.
All right. You guys ready for the FAQ? Rob, is that it for Nerd Shit?
I'm done with the Tabletop Market Watch.
We Okay, let's go to events. So we talked last time that Bay Area Open tickets are going to go on sale, I think, in March.
Mhm.
So Bay Area Open, March, tickets go on sale. We talked about Slaughterfest.
They're already on sale. I've already bought my tickets for BAO.
Oh, I think for the Long War doubles, they go on sale in March.
Oh, okay. Wait.
Sorry. I should be a professional. Long War doubles, the Bay Area Open, I think tickets go on sale in March.
Okay.
For Slaughterfest, I'll be there casting. We talked about that. And then we also talked a bunch about Wargames Con, but we couldn't figure out the dates. Update.
Have the dates. It is Friday, July 17th to July 19th. And there is a lot of stuff happening besides just the 40k GT. In fact, there's actually talks of doing a one-day mini GT at a lower points value so that you can rack up a ton of ITC points. So if you are a strapping young man looking to play 2 12-hour days of GT, you can go to WarGamesCon and get all them juicy points.
Dizzo. And a Long War doubles, perhaps.
Yes.
So another 12-hour day. I'm just kidding.
Iron Man award right there.
Yeah, we'll be doing the doubles on Friday. So we most assuredly have 60 or more tables to do the Long War doubles. And then Saturday and Sunday, you can play in the GT if you want. And should be pretty good because the doubles is so more relaxed. We start at like 10 and it's only 3 rounds, plenty of break times. We don't have to like hurry it up at the end because there's nothing that's going to push us out, kind of like at LVO with the award ceremony.
Yeah.
It's sort of important.
When we have a first day, we usually try to go 10 to 10. Go hard. Like literally fully chill.
Yeah.
All right. What's new in the FAQ? Let's break down this robust segment of hundreds of new changes to the game.
All right. Slow your roll, bro.
Can't even right now.
It's like one page. So yeah, this is for Ritual of the Damned. A few updates here. They changed Aura of Dread. It says change the sentence to read subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic of enemy units whilst they're within 6 inches of any units from your army with this ability. Some points changes. Master Lazarus is 105 points.
I think that was just the same. They're just putting it in there.
Yeah. It says amend the existing entry for Deathwing Apothecary, excluding War Gear. He is now 70 points. Yeah. Yeah. It says, okay, so Bolt Carbine with special ammunitions, 4 points. Bolt Sniper Rifle, 3 points. Instigator Bolt Carbine, 5 points. Las Fusel, 15 points. Looks like they didn't have that in there, so they're just adding it. Masters of the Warp, change the first sentence to read Psyker units with this ability gain a bonus depending on which of the tides of the warp is dominant. So they took away the vehicles. So the only like vehicle keyword you're going to be having in there is the dreadnoughts. Everything else does not benefit from the tides of the warp. Then we get into Psychic Brazier. Change the sentence to read when a Cult of Prophecy unit within 6 of a friendly cult with this relic is chosen to shoot or fight with, you can reroll 1 hit roll, wound roll, or 1 damage roll.
Okay. So that was that one that people were talking about.
Yeah. Great Knights FAQs. Can a warlord with the Lore Master Warlord trait know psychic powers from both the Sanctic and Dominus disciplines? No. If a unit affected by the powerful Adept stratagem manifests the Vortex of Doom psychic power, what ranges are used? The vortex will open over the nearest visible enemy model within 18 inches, but the power will still only affect other units within 3 inches of that model. Some Thousand
So
Suns.
they're saying like aura extension does not apply to the splash damage.
Yeah. Let's see, Thousand Suns. If I manifest the Warp Reality psychic power with a unit that has the Brotherhood of Sorcerers ability, can I use that ability to select one enemy unit within 9 inches of the terrain feature? No. The Brotherhood of Sorcerers ability allows you to select a terrain feature within 24 inches of the Psyker.
Another splash damage aura thing. Because
Mm.
it also has a secondary ability where it affects models in a certain range.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Can the ability from Guided by the Whispers Warlord trait be used by a model that cannot fire Overwatch due to not having a ranged weapon, not having line of sight, or being out of range? Yes, unless another rule would prevent them from being able to fire Overwatch, such as being within 1 inch of enemy models or being under the effects of a rule that prevents the model from firing Overwatch. If I have a cult warlord and I use the Magister stratagem to give a Thousand Suns character from a different cult a warlord trait, can I select their relevant cult warlord trait? Yes, as they are regarded as your warlord for the purposes of that warlord trait. If I have a cult warlord and I use the Relics of the Thousand Suns stratagem to give a Thousand Suns character from a different cult a Sorceress Arcana, can I select their relevant cult Sorceress Arcana? No, as you can only select that Sorceress Arcana if your warlord is from that cult. Dark Angels. Does the Pennant of Remembrance replace a Deathwing Ancient's Deathwing Company banner ability? No. It is an ability the model gains in addition to the Deathwing Company banner ability.
Dope.
That's all there is.
Felt like a lot. There it is. What's new in FAQ?
Oh boy.
All right. Well, did all the news. Now we get to talk about why Tau are the most broken army in 40k.
Yep.
You don't want to talk about Imperial Guard.
Question mark.
There's a pretty good article on Spiky Bits you guys can read about Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
We may cover it. And all joking aside, it's not as popular as Tau right now.
Yeah.
And so
they did get a buff. So like overall, if you're not a Tau player and you don't care, overall this book is important. If you're a Genestealer cult or guard player, it does give you a significant buff. It is just not on the same level of paradigm shift that the Tau get with their rules.
Yeah. Tau spicy.
Yes.
So we have a limited amount of times on our podcast, so we're going to cover Tau right now.
Yeah, and we're going to summarize. So if you want every single little detail, go to Spiky Bits or buy the book. We're just going to cover some spiciness.
I mean, you can do both.
Yeah.
Just the tender chicken nuggies of this release. So Tau get their own Build-A-Bear workshop. So they have the new SEP tenants, which there are 11 of, and you can choose any two. Some of the cooler ones are stabilization systems. You ignore moving and shooting heavy weapons for battle suits. Sophisticated command net. Vehicles reroll wounds of 1 against units with 1 or more marker lights on them. Upgunned improves AP on burst weapons to -1. And hardened warheads improves AP on missile pods, including high yield, seekers, and smart missiles by 1.
Solid. All solid.
Yeah, all pretty good around. I'm sure there's some cool combos in there. Some new prototype weapons. Reactive countermeasure for a unit with an air-bursting frag projector weapon. The user ignores AP -1 and AP -2, counts it as 0. So that's really spicy.
That shit gets annoying quick.
Oh, yeah. Talk of the town on these prototype weapons is the new Magna rail rifle, which you just give to a unit of broadsides. And it is a 60-inch range, strength 9, -4 AP, 3 damage. And it always does 3 or more damage because rolls of 1 or 2 count as 3. And each guy gets 2 shots with it.
This isn't the one that like also adds on like D3 damage?
No, that's for a Riptide.
Oh, word.
Get into that one next. But yeah, so like the Magna rail rifle is definitely super good for broadsides, especially if you're using rules where they can move around and not care about shooting heavy weapons and that kind of thing. Like really, really cool. The amplified ion accelerator is an upgrade to the ion accelerator that a Riptide carries. Gives it 72-inch range, heavy 6, strength 9, -4 AP, 3 plus D3 damage in overcharge mode.
Huh.
Yeah, it's spicy. It's going to do some damage.
That's bad times for a lot of things.
Yeah. And then they have the advanced EM scrambler, and you can put this on a ghost keel, and it gives them a 12-inch deep strike or reserve denial. So like anything that comes in from reserves can't come in within 12 inches of that ghost keel.
Yeah.
Pretty spicy.
On an infiltrating unit, nonetheless. Yes.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
More examples of why deep striking sucks. I used to say when this edition dropped that it was one of the best rules of the game. It was the most spicy things that there was.
Yeah.
Now,
GW to fun police it into oblivion.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. I mean, there's ways to get in closer nowadays.
I mean,
yeah, you can spend. Well, there's not though, because if I have this, the whole thing with the 12-inch denial is that like it doesn't matter what rules or stratagems you use, you can't end up closer than 12 inches to it.
It's like
it's the same thing with infiltrators for Space Marines. Like
if you have like a special thing that bypasses the normal rules for reinforcements, that doesn't bypass somebody else's special rule for anti.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like it's if it says specifically instead of the normal 9, this is not that. Like it's
right.
There's and also that's with a lot of people are getting these new rules like right where they push you back 12 inches, and however you interpret it doesn't matter. Like deep striking on turn 2 is one of the biggest changes they made to the edition. You have to wait a whole extra turn. That means the player has a whole bunch of time to put models in the right place to make you not be where you want to be. We play in an edition where you have random deployment maps, which adds a whole other variable to exactly how much real estate the opponent actually has to put models in to block you. Long deployments, you don't need that much stuff. It was once the staple of the game and one of the best rules. Maybe a little too strong. And in its current iteration, it's okay. And Ghost Keels now have this rule. Space Marines have this rule. This is a very popular rule. It's just like when transhuman physiology dropped. And we started seeing more and more rules that were like disregard 1s, 2, and 3s. Like GW gets in these trends where like, oh, that's really cool. Let's give that to a few people. Like they love this new rule. They're giving it to people. More examples. Deep strike real hard.
Yeah. Some cool stratagems. Coordinated engagement for 2 CP. Crisis battlesuit or bodyguard units can select a target, and that unit counts as having 5 marker lights on them.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Especially good. And for those of you who don't know some of these Space Weeaboo abilities, 1 marker light lets you reroll hit rolls of 1. 2 lets destroyer and seeker missiles use their ballistic skill rather than 6. 3 that ignores cover. 4 lets them fire heavy weapons and advance and fire assault weapons without penalty. And 5, add 1 to hit rolls for Tau Empire models. So with one of the other cool things that we'll talk about in a minute, you can have ballistic skill 2 battle suits rerolling 1s at a target. Let's see. Modulated weaponry. I think they showed this one off in some of the community releases. A non-Titanic unit can max out the number of shots for their heavy weapons during a shooting phase. Aerial targeting for 1 CP lets you put a marker light on a target.
See, I like that one too.
Yeah. And then promising pupil, which lets you buy more warlord traits, which is another one.
Which all mono factions should have.
Yeah, it's just another one of those like rules they're kind of given to a lot of other factions. So it's cool to see that. Then we get to Farsight enclaves, and Farsight boys, they got some real shit. Like they are the biggest winners out of this as far as like buff to their existing rules. One of the biggest things, you probably heard about it, Farsight enclaves can have 2 commander suits per detachment, which is a big deal.
Which is double. It's double what they used to have. It's dog. It's crazy.
Yeah. Then they're like army rules. You have aggressive footing. All units treat enemies within 12 inches as having one marker light on them, or plus one marker light, I should say. So if they have 3 from your marker lights and you're within 12 inches, the shooting unit counts them as having 4. Devastating counterstrike. You reroll wounds of 1 within 6 inches of that enemy. And then their big stratagem that everybody's talking about is Veteran Cadre. And once per battle, you can upgrade a unit of Crisis or Bodyguards for 1 CP if it's a unit of 3 and 2 CP if it's a unit of 4 or more. It gives them Weapon Skill 4 and Ballistic Skill 3. So
that's a big deal for Tau.
Yeah. When you pair this with the
5 marker light.
Yeah. And you're deep striking them, so you're within 12 inches. And now you're just like hitting whatever you want with all these awesome battlesuit weapons, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. Like, and you know, you can also play stuff like Mon Ka if they're next to a guy, so it's like they don't count as having moved for that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. There's Focus Fury for 1 CP. It lets a character reroll all wounds for the shooting phase. So that's really strong, especially if he's already like rerolling some 1s for some marker lights, stuff like that. Some relics. You got the Mirror Codex. The user can reroll hits against enemy units within 18. Pretty strong.
I like that range
and this
too.
cool new one is the Seismic Fibrillator Node. Once per battle, at the start of your opponent's turn, you can activate this relic. If you do, then until the end of that turn, whenever any model, starts or ends a move within 6 inches of a model with this relic, roll a d6. On a 1, that model's unit suffers a mortal wound.
And so the wording on that is super tricky, Rob, because I said once per game until the end of the turn. So player turn.
So it's just like the nice stratagem.
Right. But it also has an interesting wording on this mortal wound shenanigans because it says model. So they're not saying units, they're saying model. So at first you're like, okay, that's pretty low powered, right? Like every model that ends within 6 inches or starts in 6 inches. But literally it doesn't say like, you know, anything about movement phase. It says starts or ends a move. So currently it can be interpreted 100% that you can catch a unit starting, ending in the movement phase, maybe in the assault phase, maybe in the pilot phase, and it's 2 every time. If you're inside that 6-inch bubble when you start and end 2 times, I get to roll those all. So if it's 10 guys, so like
10 dice,
and you're like, I'm going to assault you, and you're within 6 inches. I'm like, all right, 10 dice. Okay, now you ended your move.
Yeah.
All right, 8 more dice because you lost 2. Okay, now I'm going to activate this unit. If you move it all to pile in, I'm going to roll these like 7 more. All right, now you ended. I'm going to roll these 6 more. All right, you finished the fight, and if this guy's still alive, now it's time to consolidate. You have 5 guys left. I'm going to roll these 5 dice again. Oh, you ended with a 6, 5 dice again. Oh, you only have like 3 guys left. Like, so it's entirely perceivable that that's how GW intends it. I don't know what their intent is. And there's always a fight about what a move is, ending a move or starting a move, right? There's always a discussion about that, and there's almost always clarification needed on it. And I know historically it has never gone one way or the other. There's not like a precedent that baseline hardcore establishes what they consider ending a move is always. They usually
play the like grab boot stratagem where you're unaffected by Tau seismic defibrillators.
Somebody has one of those? What are you talking about?
I don't know. It'll probably be in the next book.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
I don't know. Like if anything is going to get rapidly eroded, it's probably going to be this thing. The other stuff is pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot of.
But it's useless if it's not that. If it's not that that interpretation, it's fucking utterly garbage.
Because it's a once per battle thing.
Yeah. So
maybe it's just like that when you need it, when you're about to get closed on,
or you close on them.
That's true.
And then so you close it on them, you blast them, And then you just camp your guy there. It's their turn. You reveal it. And now it's like, let's see how much damage I can do. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's in the Superman movie where like the thing lands on Earth and it's like,
yeah, it's exactly like that. He's just standing there, just fucking shit up with his
like the cars are up in the air and then they crash down and you go back up.
He's giving him the old vibrator. Like,
dude,
yeah.
I hope it stays. And here's the thing: I want Tao to kick butt. I want these rules to be as spicy as fuck. I want the cheat codes. This is a model faction that deserves some cheat codes. I want that relic to be the hardcore interpretation of it. I want people to flex their brains and come up with more combos, just like Iron Hands. We got the most OP Iron Hands list ever after all these nerfs. Because now we got to think about it a different way. Present us with something new, something strong, something creative, and let us flex, right? So obviously the reason the Farside Enclave is so gangster is it's potentially 6 commanders, right? And
it could have just been an oversight.
It's not, but what? No, it's literally.
No, it's not.
No,
this is your reward.
It's your
because
reward.
The other Tau Seps do not get this, and it's only per detachment.
Yeah.
So to get 6, you have to have.
They didn't say you can have 6 commanders. They said you can have 2 instead of 1. They know what they're doing. Because guys, it's history lesson time on the podcast. This is for the audience. We already talked about this earlier in the pregame show. Go back in time to the beginning of this edition. Tau was very popular in 7th edition, and many people had Tau armies going into 8th. A lot of people tried a lot of different things that worked in 6th and 7th that didn't work in the beginning of 8th. But something people discovered that was really strong was character abuse. And people realized we didn't have a rule of 3. None of that shit existed. And people were running like these Supreme Command attachments with 5 commanders in them, all sorts of shit. I used to play against Tau every week, all the time, down here in LA. And that was all we played against. And it was very powerful. It was almost the only list that they were running. People weren't running Riptides. People were running that shit. People were running character abuse. They also only had an index, right? So when all this shit was going crazy, like Smash Captain abuse, Demon Prince abuse, it wasn't those guys who got nerfed. We'd already gotten a 0 to 3. And people already realized they can still run because there's 5 different commanders in the Tau Codex. So like 0 to 3 didn't stop them from doing it. So in this world of character abuse, when we thought they were going to change it to like, well, you only have one of each captain regardless, or one Demon Prince regardless. No. GW did not say that. GW came off the mountain, Rob, and said 1 commander per detachment. They straight up targeted Tau and took away that ability. So that's really interesting to recall. And then once they did that, people found out. I remember all my friends crying, like, that's it. There's no way to play this army. Well, we now know that is wrong. And people went back to the drawing board and figured out even more powerful Tau armies. And so now, obviously, we live in this 2020 version of all that. Things have been reined back in. Things have been readjusted. Now, Demon Princes are 0 to 3, things like that. This is the cheat code. They are unlocking a character abuse, hyper powerful, hyper shooty, fully strategized, buffed as all fuck army for the Tau. And you remember the Demon Prince army that got nerfed right after it did well? That army, we talked about this earlier in attack discussion, kind of lost for turn 1 and turn 2. Like you were usually trailing on primaries. And then turn 3, it was like the Demon Prince's turn 1. And then you break their back and try to keep going from there, right? Because you had to like play this chess game for a couple turns, be kind of cagey, move around, and then jump, right? This army is like that, except all day, every day, it's on, right?
Oh, yes.
It's on. Like 6 guys shooting more than your whole army has. Fucking dope as fuck. Iron Man dudes flying around, jacking your shit up. It is crazy. But is it OP? What do you think, Wyatt?
I would say that if you're going to put together a really strong list like this, where you have like 3 enforcers, 3 cold stars with some spicy weapons, spread out on your detachments, with some infantry and a bunch of drone backups, and you have some heavy hitters like a couple of ghost keels, one of them with the deep strike denial, maybe a Riptide or a Ivara, or something that I think is downright awesome is like the 3 broadsides with the Magna rail rifle, like that will absolutely mess some shit up, especially if you decide to keep a commander near them so that he can help buff them up and stuff.
What are your 2 picks for commanders? Like, obviously, we can have 6 commanders. There's like 5 or 6 available.
Cold stars. Like, with the way the war gear works out with like points efficiency and all that kind of stuff, like 3 cold stars, 3 enforcers. The enforcers, you want the triple cyclic ion blasters with some cool war gear. And then with the enforcers, those guys are moving 40 inches. They're going to run right up into your face, kill a fucking tank, and do all sorts of stuff. Like, just the ability for them to move so far every single turn, because their weapons are assault weapons. So they're advancing like every turn, just like 40 inches
Little
here.
fucking
40
Iron
there.
Man flying around the battlefield,
Like,
jacking people.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I love it. So, yeah, obviously, this broadside unit, we'll break down and the math on that. What was the math you said on that?
So three broadsides are slightly more expensive. I think it's like 20 something points more expensive than a Riptide. It's a comparable number of wounds on the table, and they're pumping out 6 strength 9, -4 AP, 3 to 6 damage shots every turn. And then when you tack on, marker lights and stuff like that, like they might be getting rerolls, they might be getting pluses to hit, they might ignore cover. So like they're just popping tanks and stuff left and right. And if you're playing with the make your own tap sentence, like they can just run around and ignore the moving and shooting with heavy weapons, all that kind of shit. So like if you were to compare a gun that they have with a similar profile, it's like the rail cannon on a hammerhead. It only gets 1 shot. I know it has 2 modes of fire that gets more shots, but like we're comparing like the anti-tank ability. So 1 shot, strength 10, -3 for D6. And because the Magna rail rifle has the rolls of 1 and 2 count as 3, so you're always doing 3 or more damage. Like you have to have 6 hammerheads just to get the same number of shots. And then with the low damage rolls, like you might need to throw in a couple of more to have the math work out. So like that's way too many hammerheads.
Do broadsides have like a 2-up save, 4 wounds?
Yeah. Yes.
Do they have do they have battle pursuit? Do they get to use savior protocols?
Yes, they can use savior protocols.
All right. Fucking sick. I'm all in. I mean, I'm really into this fucking character abuse list, and like character abuse is been something that GW's had to address in the past. They had to address it with the assassin stuff. They had to change like a character screening interactions. They had to change it to like closest no matter what, even if you can't see it because of character sniping. Characters can be abused. I think this list is not more powerful than like Richard Siegler's list in the hands of Richard Siegler. Yeah. But I think this list is more powerful in the hand of the average player. I think as long as you manage the concept of double a blade of armor. A blade of armor 1 being your character, you can abuse that relatively easily with like ghost keels infiltrating, right? You can even have like a unit over here just hiding in a magic box. There's lots of ways to abuse character rules. So that's a whole layer of fucking buff, right? But also they do get savior protocol.
Yeah. So you're having your drones. Like drones can deep strike. So you can have like one of the enforcers or a cold star like manta strike with like 10 drones all around him and just like gat some shit. And also like another thing is like, so when you buy like a unit of 10 shield drones that can like kind of hide around them, like we were talking about this earlier, it's like, if a Riptide is chilling here and you can hide the drones here, that's kind of a big part of the wombo combo. You can't see the drones. So you got to shoot this fucking Riptide and no, you're not going to do anything, right? These guys, because they're characters, can say like, okay, well, these 10 shield drones don't need to be hugging my nuts right now. I'm going to boost them up over there, take that objective, be behind this wall, simultaneously being closer to the enemy who has no line of sight to said drones, therefore protecting these characters while they stay in here and do their necessary task. There's a lot of toolbox flexing there. And I think like play test it a few times, think about it a few times. I think that list is going to give a lot of success to a lot of people
in a certain level of skill really fast. I think it's going to be popular. And also, it's 6 dope-ass conversions, baller-looking models. I think this is going to be a case of super popularity, super accessibility, and a lot of people dusting off those models, getting ready to play some Farsight right now.
Yep. It's also a very different style of play than you're used to seeing Tau. Like, over this edition, people have kind of gotten used to like the Tau archetype of how they're going to play to win the game. And they kind of, like, oh, I'm going to play this Tau guy. He's got like some Riptides. He's got some drones, maybe some broadsides doing that kind of thing. He's going to castle up, blah, blah, blah. But with this Farsight Enclave build, he's like all over the place. He's in your face. He's covering like all these objectives you can't get to because of like the crazy movement bonuses. He's hitting you from 60 inches away with these Magna rail rifles you can't do anything about. Like, being able to outrange las cannons is a pretty big deal for anti-tank stuff. Like, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, obviously the title of the episode is our Tau OP. This list, I think, will sometimes feel OP in some matchups. Like, there's going to be there's going to be moments where like you're going to face off against this, depending on and if you haven't thought about it and you don't have the tools to dig out certain things. And I think that there's going to be moments where you're like, this is absolutely the worst fucking army. Like, this is too abusive. But character abuse armies all have kind of similar failings.
Yeah.
And one of them, for example, if drones are part of their blade of armor and a part of the reason why you can't shoot them and they're easy to hide, well, a big comeback lately in indirect fire. So target priority is going to be a huge element of interacting with armies like this, but also speed. And we talked about this earlier. One of the most popular Eldar builds in the game is still flyer spam. That list has a real good time against a lot of these Eldar or a lot of these Tau armies because it can blow past all that shit, get to the angles at once, spend a turn shooting everything it needs to at the drone units, taking them out, lose a percentage of their flyers in the return volley, and now do what they do and start crippling. They do that well. They did that well against these Demon Prince lists, a lot of lists that have to keep you from getting close to them. And so this list will suffer in those matchups as well. So there's going to be a lot of hard counters still. I don't think it's OP. I think it's the exact proper level of spicy in cheat code right now, going into this new Psychic Awakening era where everyone's got to get something hot, Yep. Fucking, I might make a Tau army. I'm saying it here on the podcast. If you're talking,
it's not a whole lot of models either. Like, this list that my friend put together, it was like, you're talking like 15 total breachers, less than 30 total drones for the entire army, counting all the upgrades and everything, 6 commanders, and then like 3 ghost keels and a big boy. Or you can swap out the big boy for maybe some other stuff like the broadsides or something like that. Like, it's not even a ton of models to paint.
I'm gonna respond to the chat during this segment real quick, just because it's almost like George heard me earlier. He's
almost.
Literally, he says, Kenny, make a Tau army and paint it like Iron Man with gold and candy apple red armor. Bro, if you didn't hear me earlier today, we're in the same wavelength. I want to have all 6 of these dudes. I want my Warlord one to straight up be converted Iron Man. Full blown Cold Star gangster. And I want all the other ones to be painted like War Machine. Just like straight up. And they're just flying around, jacking shit up. We're thinking the same. I'm with it. I just need them to look boss. So I'm probably going to have to pay Wyatt to convert them all for me.
I mean, I won't. I'm going to shame you into doing it yourself.
Converting myself?
Oh, you mean converting? I thought you were talking about paying me to paint them. And I was like, I don't do that anymore.
No. Convert them.
Okay.
And then you will shame me in the painting them. So like,
yes. Yeah.
See,
that's the rule. It's like, if I'm going to do these like one of a kind where I'm spending like 10 or more hours converting this model for you, like, you're going to paint that shit.
Yep. And I always do. I've painted every single one of the models you built me.
Yeah. And then you bitched about it for like 2 months.
No, because you made me paint 10 Warp Talons.
I didn't make you do anything.
I didn't bitch about the awesome Night Lord that I got to paint that was baller and a goddamn amazing experience.
But then I had to listen to you tell me about like, oh my god, painting fucking war towns, they're the worst. And, like the entirety of LVO.
That tutorial was actually pretty good for the paint and war.
We actively discussed you quitting painting because you were being such a baby.
Paint is impossible. I'm just changing the
alligator husbandry.
Yeah, go back to Florida, work on alligator husbandry and bath salts. I'm glad you liked the tutorial, Rob. Hope you liked it as much as I enjoyed creating it for you.
I sense the inflection in your tone from earlier.
Oh my god! And warm towels, what a mistake. Towel.
Sell them on eBay, pro painted.
Oh yeah. Someone in the chat asked about alligator husbandry. Look it up. It's gonna be my new thing.
Yikes!
I've done a moderate level of research on it. I think I'm cut out for it.
Husbandry is just another term for like breeding. So it's like, you know, you can do like dog husbandry if you're a dog breeder. It's just, it sounds really funny because it's a very sophisticated word for making alligators.
For jerking off an alligator.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Rob?
I could see you doing it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate your support.
Yeah, I got you, man. The world, you know, needs these skill sets. Somebody's got to do them.
I can always count on you.
Oop, somebody's bitching that Chaos Space Marines suck. Kenny, you owe me $1.
Wow.
Yep. Nah, but it's, I mean, you know, all our bitching aside, you know, all our nitpicking to GW, all our nitpicking is just quality of life nitpicking, ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, and we live in America. It's like, what do we really have to complain about besides quality of life things? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like, I'm going to bitch all the fucking time about things that slightly and mildly inconvenience me. And that's what I do. And so GW has given us the fucking dopest hobby with the sickest models that we get the hypest on all the time. 2020 is already shaping up to be even more exciting, even more crazy. Like, I am so fucking stoked. I want to get back to it. You know, I want to get back to these events. I want to be all over the place. I want to try new things this year, you know? And I historically don't like Tau because they're annoying, but I can get behind, you know, 6 Iron Man suits.
Yeah. Plus, it's not annoying if you're the one dishing it out.
No,
Yeah.
it's never annoying. But all right, Rob, what do you think? You got anything to throw on the end of that?
My cats are making too much noise around here.
Are they?
We can't even hear them.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which cat?
Sarah.
Oh, God, I love Sarah.
She's so dumb.
She's so fat. Well, I love it. Just like a cartoon cat.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have Haspil take us out of here. Wait, that's me today.
As Haspil silently screams from the picture that he's trapped inside of.
What is it, the Phantom Zone?
So that is it for this one. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net and find out how to play Titanicus, the best game you're not playing. Right meow.